And then, he was alone, and then, he had met someone, and they were talking, and they broke it off 2 weeks before he disappeared.
Oh, wow. So it's just probably
and
everything
it was just
at once.
everything was just hitting all at once.
About that a
I'm
lot,
right here, right?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
No, you're
We talk about it a lot, but it's like one of those things. Like, like the straw that breaks the camel's back. Sometimes it's just everything piling on at once. You know, like.
Yeah. And so, like, the thing that. So with the divorce, my mom.
Do this until we get started.
Did so when they filed their taxes last year. My mom. They usually filed together. And my mom went separately behind his back, and he didn't know. And she filed married but separated. And she got a return, and he ended up owing like $5,000.
Oh, wow.
And he didn't know he was going to get hit with that. So he did his taxes, ended up owing. He made like a payment plan where you can just make payments towards it.
Right.
And then his bank got hit with a random charge, so they closed the account. And he forgot to, like, when he opened the new account, he had so much coming out of that original bank account. He didn't have everything being taken out that needed to be taken out. Yeah. And so he started getting letters from the IRS that he was behind. And so he reached out to a debt collection agency to try and, like, get some of it off of his back. And they were like, yeah, we'll send out letters to, like, the companies that we will be able to take over. And that agency ended up being a scam that was taking money from him because he was making payments to this agency to help with his debt, and it ended up being a scam, and they didn't end up helping with his debt, so he just stopped making payments, and he didn't know that they weren't taking over, so then it just all kind of added up, and he wasn't able to, like, catch up.
Right.
So it was all just
a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, especially, like, as soon as, like, you think you're trying to get it straightened out and you're getting help, and then you find out you're getting burnt at the same time. It's like, oh my God, like, really, it could really send somebody, even, like, if you're totally fine and not struggling with anything at all, like, that could send somebody off the deep end.
Yeah.
Like, that's why it's so, sad that, like, there's not a whole lot of, I guess, I don't know how much traction you got from your stuff, but I couldn't believe that, like, a local news didn't pick it up.
Well, I actually emailed 3 different news.
Was that the Explorer?
No, the Explorer Clarion and Explorer Jefferson reached out to me. But I emailed 3 different news, like, broadcastings, and none of them got back to me.
Really? See, and that's the problem. Like, most of these places are, owned up by big conglomerates where, like, it's in the big cities that, like, stories like this just get swept under the rug. Like, we were actually just looking it up, and it's like 1,000 people a year go missing in Pennsylvania alone, and there's like 500 active missing persons right now. So it's like they're not even really doing what they could be doing to try to get it circulating. Because again, like, you just heard a tip Sunday that he might have been up in DuBois?
I actually just heard this morning. I'm guessing the person that saw him didn't know he was missing at the time, because it didn't start circulating till Saturday night, Sunday morning. So, I woke up this morning to his neighbor sending me a screenshot of a guy was listening to the scanner and heard it over the scanner that he was reported seen on Sunday in DuBois. And the police officer that, has been reaching out to me with any information contacted me and said, did you see the tip? I was like, yeah, I just got it sent to me. He's like, yeah, he was seen Sunday at Giant Eagle. But the thing with that is, the thing with the whole, like, the police, it's the Brookville Borough that's investigating it. So they're not really, like, investigating it. They've just been, like, every time I call for an update, they're like, yeah, we drove around town, we didn't see his car, we drove past his car, or his house, it's not there.
See, that's insane. To discourage, like, everybody should always go to the police. The police do a tremendous job with a lot of things, but it's like, stuff like this, it's like, realistically, I'm a nobody. I don't have any authority, but it's like, I know the power of, like, social media and things like that.
And that's why I went to TikTok, because I was like, I'm hoping it'll blow up, and I'm hoping it'll get out there, because, like, we didn't even know which direction he went until today when we got the tip.
Well, and she brought up an interesting point. The last known place that he was at was the Sunoco, like, in Brookville there, and that's right, like, 28 and I-80's right there. Like, you could only hope that he left willingly on his own regardless. But I mean, like, God forbid somebody did something to him, or
Right.
I mean, there's an interstate right there. You could be anywhere in a matter of hours from that place right there.
And that's what, like, I brought up to the original officer that showed up when we called the cops. He, like, I don't even remember what his name was because he was so, like, nonchalant, like he didn't really, it wasn't that big of a deal. And which I get.
Who was
kind
that?
of. I can't remember his name.
Well, we don't have to put anybody on blast either, but at the same time, it's like, you know, they have to understand, like, how many people are affected by one person being missing.
Yeah, and then, but this officer, he kind of took it a little bit more serious. I mean, they aren't really, like, trying to get camera footage from anywhere. They aren't,
what I thought. Like, I mean,
asking his neighbors or anything. They're just driving around town, seeing if they see his car, and hoping that someone reaches out.
And maybe, like, it's a small town, but I mean, again, these resources, I mean, like, if I had the authority, I could go into Sunoco and say, hey, can you pull some of this camera footage? I know he was here. We have an ATM receipt. I mean, like, it's not like...
Well, then, I knew he got a check in the mail Thursday afternoon because he called me about it. So with his insurance, when he gets, like, dental done, he pays with his HSA card, and then his insurance will reimburse him with a check. I know he got one Thursday at, like, noon. He called me and told me, because I had a cleaning last week, and I'm still on his insurance. And so I figured he cashed it, and I found the receipt from Walmart. Thursday night at 7:32, he went in and cashed it. And I told the police that, and they're like, well, it's not really relevant because it was before he disappeared. I was like, it was the night before he disappeared. I was like, if you get footage from Walmart, see if he bought a burner or something.
Right.
But they were like, yeah, it's not really relevant, though. And I called Walmart myself to see if I could get footage, and they're like, well, we can't give you footage without
the
cops signing an subpoena for it.
Which is stupid because, again, if anything, you have more right to it than anybody because it's your dad.
Yeah.
I mean, you have right to know where he's at, you would think. You know, it's kind of weird that they stonewall you on when, like, you're not looking to do anything more than just maybe find out where he's at and make sure he's okay. I know that they might have a bunch of people that, I don't know, I can't even imagine it'd be that many. A bunch of people that are missing and then just turn up to be runaways or something. But your dad's not a kid. He's not some, you know, delinquent, you know.
Yeah, and this
it's
isn't
like, so...
This has never happened before. It's not like it's a repeated cycle and it keeps happening.
Right, like he's on a bender, he does this every week. It's
and
like
he
he's
never
not...
leaves his phone anywhere.
No.
And
I've got voicemails from him because I don't answer my phone within 20 minutes. And he's like, I'm getting worried about you. You're not answering your phone. He always has contact with me and his other kids.
Right. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, so I mean, like, it's obviously a very unique situation. I mean, he's in his 60s. He's not like a runaway. I mean, you think that they would be taking a little bit more look at it, especially because, again, it's not hard to put stuff together. You know, it's, you know, I don't know. It's a little bit sad, especially because, I mean, if anything, they would want to make sure that he's not out there and going to do something foolish, you know, hurt himself because he's, you know.
And I mean, that's what I was worried about because, like, the contents of the note, which I didn't put everything that was in the note. I kind of just put, like, stated why he left.
Right.
I didn't put, like, the whole, because there's more to it, and I can get into it if you guys want me to. But, yeah, there's a lot more.
If you want, you can whenever they get back. Yeah, you don't have to now.
But, yeah, I don't know. You know, like I said, I mean, like, I be the first one to say, well, you know, maybe he's out, you know, having a good time, or maybe he's doing this. But again, like, you know his routine. You obviously are in contact with him pretty frequently. You know his behavior. He works, right? I mean, like, where does he work? Does he work at
he works
sawmill?
At the Gutchess Lumber there in Reynoldsville. That used to be the bat plant.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, so obviously he shows up for work. Every day. I mean, like, so he's obviously hasn't been to work in how many days?
Yep.
You know, so I mean, like, there's a lot of things there that are completely not routine. That I mean, like, if worst case scenario, like, I'd love to see the police car they drive by and it says to protect and serve. Like, well, if you're really here to protect and serve, I mean, like, protect him from himself, if anything. You know, he might just be, you know, off blowing off some steam. You know, but I hate that they're like, well, he's an adult, he can do whatever he wants. It's like, well, don't you want to make sure that he doesn't at least do something foolish or something regrettable? You know, I mean, you got a daughter and a granddaughter that would grow up without a...
And that was, like, that's something my husband said. He was like, she doesn't even really know him yet. She's only 8 months old. So she's like, if he doesn't come back, she's not going to remember who he is.
Absolutely.
Right,
yeah, that's absolutely terrible to think about.
Yeah.
Does he see her regularly?
Yep. So, like, we live 15 minutes from him. So, and on the way to his house, we pass his work. So when I pass, or even go into Clarion from our place, we go past his work, and you can see his car up in where he parks. So it's like I know I know his days off, so I know when he's at work and when he's not at work. And so we would go over there at least once a week, maybe twice a week, and he would see her. I take her with me.
Like on lunch breaks and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Man, and again, another
That's
reason that you
sad.
would think that, he wouldn't just disappear,
Mm-hmm.
but...
Well, and unfortunately, a lot of missing persons cases get swept under the rug.
Yep.
And
That's why I'm trying to get it out there
Yeah.
like as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Well,
So
and
it's
that's what I
not
mean,
like,
72 hours
I don't
are
know,
critical.
does the Brookville Police have a Facebook page or a, it's like,
I'm not even sure.
Why are these outlets not doing
sure if they
more?
do
Because
that,
again,
sure.
I don't have to even take 2 steps to be able to go online and do it like what we're doing
Yep.
now, or to talk about it or make people aware. Because again, Brookville is a small place, but if he's not there, he's got to be on the outskirts
Right.
or somewhere. So,
And that's what, so when we originally called the police, I called my mom immediately after reading the note, because my husband was holding my daughter, and he came in, read the note, and handed me my daughter, because he started tearing up, and he started freaking out. He's like, I gotta call work. I'm calling work. I'm calling off. And he's like, call your mom, have her call the cops, because I just was like freaking out. So I called my mom, and she called Clarion State Police, and they don't have jurisdiction in Brookville.
No,
So
don't.
they sent Brookville Borough over to check it out. So they ended up starting the investigation. Well, my cousin is a state trooper with the Clarion Police, and my brother was telling them about it. And apparently, when they asked who was investigating it, and they said Brookville Borough, they both went, "Ooh."
oh no.
Yeah.
Wow. Is
So.
he doing what he can?
Yeah,
Your
so
cousin?
so he's given me information. He's like, just relay this over to them, like tell them they need to be doing this, like ask them if they can do
I bet
this.
they love that. I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
Coming from someone that's not in the police department.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
how did you, Miss Young Lady,
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Telling us to do our job.
Well,
But,
and do you
steer 'em in
know,
the right
did he
direction.
associate with other people? Obviously,
I know he went to Bill's Bar in Brookville on his days off, and that's where a couple of the bartenders have reached out to me, like letting me know we saw him last here this day at this
Right.
time, which
Oh.
was before he disappeared, and I heard from him the morning he disappeared, literally
Right.
10 minutes before he disappeared.
Right.
Any indication there as far as just tone of
There
voice?
was, and that's why I rushed over so quickly, because he called me and he said, he originally started off with, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I was like, "Nothing, what's up?" Because I had literally just gotten out of bed, the baby just finished breakfast. And he's like, "What's your schedule for today?" I was like, "Nothing, what's up?" Because it was a Friday. My husband was off, so we really didn't have anything planned. And he's like, "Well, you're gonna have to come over and get Shaggy," he's my dog, and I left him with him because he was alone, and I was like, I can't leave him here completely
Right.
alone. So I left my dog with him. He's like, I put vacation in with work, and that's why work didn't suspect anything at first. He's like, I put vacation in until the 19th with work, and I was like, okay. He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go on a little vacation, I think. I'm like, okay. And I asked him, I was like, well, where are you going? What are you doing? He's like, I don't know yet. I just want to take some time off.
And that's probably not normal,
No,
right?
he's never done that.
That's kind
I was
of weird.
like,
A little bit of
Yeah.
a vague.
And so I was like, well, okay, well, have fun. Let me know, when you make it, or when you make up your mind where you're going. I was like, I'll be there to get Shaggy probably soon. And he's like, okay, there's going to be some stuff on the table for you. Have a good life. I love you. And just hung up. Didn't even let me answer.
He said, have a good life.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's why I packed the baby up and I left. And I was like, I don't know what's going on, but we're going to figure it out. And so I lived 15 minutes away, and he was gone by the time I got there. And he said he had stuff on the table for me, so he had it planned that he was taking off that morning, I think. And he got paid that morning. And so he cashed a check the night before, and it was only $120, and he took $100 out. The reason I'm suspecting he might have had a little bit more is because, the past month and a half, so we have a joint account. So I know, I can see the withdrawals.
Right.
And he's been withdrawing $800 every week out of his check for, the past month and a half. So that's why, at first I freaked out, but then I kind of remembered, and I was like, he's had cash for a while. So I don't know if it's, he just really did need a break and is
Right.
just kind of laying low. But it's just the fact of, like, the reason he said have a good life, and then the rest of the contents of the note. Like, the note is what set me off completely. Is, like, the reason, like...
Well, leaving the phone, too. I mean, like,
yeah,
that's
he
not,
left everything we can track him by other than his car.
Now, you don't have to answer this, but does he have a background in abuse or depression?
Not that... I mean, I know...
Like a history?
I know way before I was born. Like, I was way before I even met my mom. He was going kind of through the same thing. His company went under, and he was gonna kill himself, but his brother stopped him. And he hasn't... There's never been any kind of sign since then, and, like, it hasn't been, like, a repeated thing.
Right.
So, I mean...
But again, maybe just something, you know.
And
I mean,
I think it's because everything
him.
was,
Right.
like, piling on all at once,
Right.
and he just didn't know.
Well, traumatic experience, if he's feeling it again, he can, like, almost relapse emotionally.
Yeah, it's probably similar to, like, a drug addiction,
It
essentially,
is.
or you could be completely clean for 15 years and
Yeah.
something just, you know, small
And that's why
could
it
set
scared
it off.
me, because I told the cops, I'm like, this happened, like, years ago. It was, like, probably 26, 27, 28 years ago.
Wow.
And, I mean, they were like, yeah, well, has there been a repeated? I'm like, no, like, he's never, because he's had his family, like, nothing ever like this has ever
Right.
happened. He
Well, he's
wasn't
got a
all
good
by
support
himself.
system, right?
Yeah.
I mean, up until just recently, obviously, everything seemed to be like it was okay.
Yeah.
They just made stuff. Hope not, but they were definitely made aware.
Okay.
Yeah, two people. One said that she believes she saw him on Jackson Street going towards. You know where Jackson Street is, like by the fire hall there, by Bilo. It runs parallel
yeah.
to 322.
Yeah.
She saw him on Jackson Street going towards like C.G. Johnson Elementary School.
Mm-hmm.
The other guy believed he followed him on Route 310 from Reynoldsville to DuBois.
Okay.
We had the Giant Eagle one, and there was another one I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm sorry, but
No, you're okay.
there was been at least 4.
Okay. I mean, I'm not in the DuBois area right now, but I can, I'll look around again when I get back. But I mean, if he's just driving around aimlessly, it's gonna be hard to, drive and, look for his car at the same time.
Yeah, he might be living in his car.
Well, yeah.
He could be pulling over anyway.
Yeah.
But it gives us hope. So keep your eyes peeled, and I'll keep passing information along as we get it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You guys take care.
Yep. Bye-bye.
All right, goodbye.
I mean, man, do you really think he'd just be driving around and sleeping in his car to avoid predators?
I don't think so.
I mean, because I don't think predators are pounding on your door anymore. I mean, they just call you.
It's not.
Yeah, he said that that's what he would assume is that he's just avoiding predators.
No, but they don't show up at his house.
Yeah,
like,
they just
never
call
been
you.
to his house.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
I mean, so like, is he at risk of like losing his house or anything, like foreclosure?
No, well, I mean,
so
so he rents because we just moved up. The divorce kind of just like hit out of nowhere. I mean, my mom said it's been like she's been wanting to do it for a while, but she just didn't really do it. But so they separated rather quickly,
right.
And he paid for the house that we lived in before, so he just found somewhere to rent quick before he.
Did she get the house then?
Well, she moved out of there as well.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense like that being a motive for him to go through all of this and write a note. Yeah. And, I mean.
Right. Just to drive around in the local area.
Or to live out of my car. I mean, like,
exactly.
Again, I don't know. I mean.
And it's a car that he finances. It's not a car that he owns.
Well, again, if anything, if he's running from collections or financing, they would be coming looking for the car too, right? I mean, they would essentially. Yeah, I don't know if I care too much for that narrative. That doesn't seem like he's taking it seriously as far as the weight of the situation.
And that's it's all every time I get a call, it's always he'll tell me what he needs to tell me and then goes off topic and starts talking about something else.
Well, I get that they want to make you feel better. They don't want you to be stressed out or thinking that, worst case scenario. I mean, and we should note too that they just called and obviously said that they had another sighting or that they had
He said there was about 4. There was one in Reynoldsville, one in DuBois, and then one coming from Reynoldsville to DuBois.
And the DuBois being the one where you said Giant Eagle,
yeah.
and that he said seems to be the most credible, which I would like to know.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What makes that one more credible?
That was the other thing is they said they saw him, not his car.
Oh, okay.
And, when he called me this morning to tell me that, because I woke up this morning, my dad's neighbor sent me a screenshot of a Facebook post where a guy that sits and listens to the scanner said that he heard over the scanner there was a sighting. And I was like, okay, well, cops haven't contacted me, right. So I don't know if that's true or not. And then probably about 10 minutes later, I got a call. And he's like, did you see the tip that your dad was sighted in DuBois? And I was like, I did. He's like, yeah, someone said they saw him Sunday at
And where
Giant
are these
Eagle.
tips? Are they just coming through Facebook and social
It's
media?
people
things?
calling the Brookville police saying
Okay.
that they're seeing his car or him.
Okay.
Because we have the Brookville police number posted everywhere with his missing
and
poster.
We tried to do the same thing, but I was just wondering, he asked you if you had seen the tips. I didn't know if, again, he obviously knows that this is circulating now on social media and stuff. So, so that's good that at least it's getting around, because I'm now at least understanding that there's more than one person that called in with that same DuBois sighting, or at least seen him in the area there. So that's where I would imagine that's why it's probably more verified.
Run down real quick. I had issues with my video.
Just a recap.
Just a recap. So we have Mya Renninger here.
I was looking for a pen because now you've got a couple sightings. Because
Michael Renninger's daughter. We are live right here, right now with her. So far, they had updates on him being located in DuBois, but we are not sure.
Awesome.
We had issues with my video, but we are now sitting with her now. So she's going to be talking a little bit more. We're not sure. We already ran through a lot of questions, but we will upload that video later.
So where is Reynoldsville in relation to DuBois? Is that close? I'm not real good with the area.
So Reynoldsville was if you blink, you're going to miss it town.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah, so it's right off of DuBois.
Right.
So but it's a back town. So it's not like a main town you would go through to get somewhere else. You can back street it through
So what I'm trying
familiar
to think
with Reynoldsville
is, okay, so we've got Brookville, Reynoldsville, DuBois. So would he have maybe gone from Brookville to DuBois to Reynoldsville, or would that be the other way around?
Because you can go through.
You can go through
2 different ways, I believe.
Yeah. So if you go, you can go to DuBois 2 different ways from Reynoldsville. Yeah. So the main way is through Falls Creek over into DuBois, and then there's a back way that takes you on. I think it's 322. No, 322 is the main way. I can't remember, but there's a back way that's all back streets to DuBois.
Right.
And then, which would make, honestly, I wouldn't say it would make sense, but I live in Reynoldsville. He lives in Brookville, and if he was in DuBois, that would be if it's really him that they're seeing, and that's what is worrying me. It's not him or his car that people are actually seeing, and they're just tipping off on everything.
That's got to be the hardest part about it is how do you verify for sure? Right. Because again, do you see him from a distance or from the side? I mean, a 60-year-old man with a do-rag. It's probably easy to kind of misidentify somebody. But so we have 2 confirmed, obviously, sightings. We know for sure he was at Brookville, Sunoco when he withdrew the money. And then the other confirmed sighting of him, not the vehicle, was in DuBois. So, again, just to refresh, you had just, while we were on, got a call from the police. Just reconfirming that they had got a couple sightings or a couple reports from DuBois. But again, this is a Brookville cop. They don't have jurisdiction in DuBois. So, it's so weird that, if I got that tip and I said, I seen him in DuBois, I would go to DuBois
exactly.
then,
and that's
or call DuBois.
That's what I asked him.
And then they say it's not our jurisdiction.
Yeah. I was how are we confirming that it was him? I was have we seen security footage of him at Giant Eagle?
Right.
Well, no,
someone,
all he goes is, well, does he wear a navy do-rag? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, that's the tip we got. I'm like, do you know how many other people could be wearing navy do-rags?
A navy do-rag.
Well, and exactly. Ask me the question that's answered in the flyer that's everywhere. It's
it
literally says that in the flyer.
They should have taken a picture of his vehicle and said, hey, I have his
and
vehicle in my...
Yeah. And the tip was they saw him Sunday, and we're currently in Tuesday.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm like, do we have camera footage? He's like, well, no, but you can go drive around and see if you see him. I'm like, why?
Why don't you go drive around
and that has what has been frustrating me is every single time I've reached out for like an update or had some kind of like new information, he's like, well, you can go drive around and look. And I'm like, that's not my job. Like, that's not what I'm supposed to be doing.
No.
Like, I've got a family and I've got things I need to do. I want to be out there searching for my dad, but I can't just... And that's what I've been, like, feeling guilty about, is I can't just drop my day-to-day life...
Don't feel guilty about
and be
that.
Driving around looking for my dad. That's why I called you guys.
You called him for help.
You're doing the best that you can given the situation, because that's what the problem is. Like, the police are supposed to be the ones that are protecting and serving. You should be allowed to be the daughter and be able to grieve and maybe keep your family together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, and again, in most cases, I mean, I thought that it was always like, no, we don't want you getting involved. Don't go out there doing your own policing.
Right.
You know, it's like, well, do I need to? Because I'll go knock on doors if you're not willing to.
Yeah.
It's
typically,
like,
they don't want you in the way.
Yeah.
Is what they would say. You're in the way. Go home.
Yeah.
You know.
And, like, even whenever it came to... He cashed the check at Walmart Thursday night. I told him that, and he's like, well... That's kind of irrelevant because it was the day before he disappeared. I'm like, it's not irrelevant, though. Like, he was seen at Walmart the night before he disappeared. Could he have bought a burner phone and we wouldn't even know?
Well, I mean, again, we're not detectives, but you watch any crime show, like, you know, like, well, the lead up kind of matters. Did he get himself set up to, you know, X amount of dollars? How much cash did he have on him? How far could he have got with $200 cash?
Yeah.
You know,
and
it's
even like footage from Walmart that night.
Or a receipt. It could be, they know what he bought.
Yeah, it could be. He could be in the same clothes, so we could know exactly what he's wearing at that point.
Or if he bought it, that's what I mean. Like, you see the security footage or see his receipt. Oh, he bought an orange shirt and a hat.
Yeah.
Okay, well now we know that we're not looking for a navy do-rag. We know that we're not looking for, you know, in what he left. So it's like,
I mean, obviously he probably has a change of clothes.
Yeah.
And possibly a different do-rag or no do-rag at all, because that is what he wears typically, right?
Well,
so if he doesn't want to be found, he's going to...
Again, whether he did or didn't is viable information.
Sure.
You know, because at least if he had a change of clothes, maybe he's thinking about living another day. But if he didn't take another set of clothes, then maybe I need to...
he did?
You know, like...
As far as I'm aware, he didn't.
Yeah, like not a bag or nothing?
No.
Nothing
as
missing
far as
from the
I'm
house?
aware, nothing was taken. Because he didn't even... Like, he usually doesn't even drive without his reading glasses, and they were on the back of the couch.
Wow.
Right, so if he was going to camp in his car in Reynoldsville or DuBois in the woods somewhere, you would have stuff. You would make sure that you had something, because, again, if I was trying to not be found, I would be making sure that I wasn't going into a store every day to get my resources.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be going into Walmart where there was going to be cameras on me. You know, like, I would make sure I had everything I needed to stay put.
Yeah.
You know, so if he doesn't have anything and he doesn't have any money on him other than just
so he only has his ID.
Out. His ID, yep. Because, after the police left, I changed my daughter and I went to throw the diaper away and I saw his credit cards and stuff in the trash can. So I pulled all the stuff I could off the top of the trash can that I knew would be related, like, close to him leaving.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, just a bunch of old mail and his veteran papers, because he's a U.S. Navy veteran. It was his discharge papers. He threw them out.
Oh, wow.
And all his credit cards, his Sheets card, his, there was something else in it.
Social Security card?
No, his Social Security card was on the table. Exactly.
You know,
right.
Okay.
Wow.
And you said he left you his silver set. That's odd.
His silver collection.
Well, and again, if you want to reiterate with the note, you know, for anybody that's just joining us, I mean,
the video obviously got messed up.
He kind of painted a little bit of a picture, you know, that he wasn't coming back.
Right. So the note was, like, in the middle of all the stuff that he left: his debit card, both his cell phones, his silver collection, his insurance, like his medical insurance card. So if he were to get hurt, you know, you would need that.
Yeah.
And it was a stack of papers of all of the debt, like, he owed to, like, the IRS, his cars, his loan payments, stuff like that. And the note said, Mya, here is my debit card, my phone, my silver collection. I'm on vacation until the 19th with work. My next 2 paychecks are being deposited into your bank account. There's a check coming next week. Deposit it into my account and transfer the money into yours. Everything in my house belongs to you, and I'm going on a permanent vacation. I love you so much, as always, Dad. So immediately you're thinking, all right, all of his money and all of his personal items in his house belong to me. He's not coming back.
Yeah, and obviously leaving everything like the close out of his estate. I mean, any of his accounts and stuff like that, leaving all that, like his finances and stuff. Like,
it's crazy because you have an 8-month-old baby. You just got married. You're only 21. You need your dad. Your dad needs you. You know.
And that's what. And the other thing that my husband did point out, whenever we got married Wednesday, as we were leaving the courthouse, my dad shook his hand and said thank you. And immediately he brought it up. He's like, that was, like, weird. And then Friday morning, he's like, I wonder if, like, this is why he was saying thank you. Because, like, my entire life, all I can remember is my dad saying, you know, I won't be able to breathe or relax until I know you're being taken care of. And, like, that just jumped back into my head. I'm like, he just watched me get married. And the day after, he's planning on disappearing. And he's gone Friday morning.
Yeah, the timeline is awfully unusual as far as, like, I mean, it really seems like he kind of had it in mind that he was gone and he was going to go after you got married.
Did you guys know and plan for a while?
For the wedding? Yeah. No. So I told him 2 weeks prior. No, it was like a week and a half. I told him, you know, Wednesday, this day, we're going to the courthouse to get married. Because I asked him, like, what are you doing Wednesday of next week? He's like, nothing, why I'm off. I'm like, well, we're getting married. And he was so excited. And even his boss said that when I called him. You know, I kind of asked him, you know, was he acting weird at all? Because to me, he didn't really show anything weird to me. Yeah. And he's like, well, you know, the past 2 weeks, he really hasn't been being himself. You know, he's not as talkative. He's kind of just closed off in his own world. You know, usually he's really bubbly, you know, making jokes, talking to us. And, you know, the past 2 weeks, he just, you know, wasn't like that. And he's like, but he was boasting about, you know, you're getting married on Wednesday. And I'm going to see my daughter get married on Wednesday. And that was such a gut punch whenever he told me that. I was like, wow, dude.
Yeah, especially with this happening now, like right after that. I mean, it's got to, like I said, you start to think back.
You're okay, I'm sorry.
You know, to think back and how this all kind of laid out is really, really sad.
It's like he wanted to make sure you were okay. You're his only daughter.
Yeah.
You know.
And he was so excited on Wednesday. The photographer, we were at the courthouse, and the Brookville courthouse has 2 staircases that go up to, like, a thing. And he comes up to us as we're taking pictures, and the photographer, he goes, why don't they go up top there and you take a picture of them looking down with the baby? That would be so cute. And it was just, he was so excited, and it was just...
Oh, it was probably the best day of his life.
Yeah, and, like, in the one TikTok that I posted, and this video chokes me up every single time I watch it. It's the video of us, you know, kiss the bride, the end. He's clapping. He's so excited. I'm like, I cry every time I watch that video. I was like,
oh my gosh.
Man,
I'm glad he was there, and really, as a refresher, we know nothing at this time. So like, I hope he is okay.
Yeah, me too. And that's like, it's constantly, you know, I'm praying every day. I'm like, please just, you know, reach out to me or something. Right. Let me know you're okay. Because like, I'm like, if you just, you know, needed a break or needed to just have some alone time, you know, just let me know you're okay. That's all I care about.
Yeah, because we've all been there. You know, we could relate to that all day.
Exactly.
Yeah, we've all been there.
So, anything else as far as we all have a little bit of a platform on social media and stuff like that. So, I mean, is there anything that anybody else can do as far as anybody that's watching this now or has watched it, anything, just, I guess, share it?
Yeah, that's all I've been saying. You know, get his face and his name out there, his car out there. That's really all we can really do at this point, is just get it out as far as we can and reach everyone as possible.
Right.
And, you know, the local news picking it up would be amazing, you know, because that's going to hit.
I have tagged them in my
I'm about
videos.
To start making some calls, because, again, they can't ignore all the calls.
Right.
You know,
right.
So, I mean,
they should want to.
Yeah.
Like I said, especially because I know that, like, I mean, I don't know what the local one is here. I feel like it's like the Daily Mail or something like that. But again, I think they just put out a little one-page spread. But it's like, you know, if you have a page or a paper or anything, I mean, share his picture, get it out there, get his information out there. I'll try to keep putting relevant pictures out there as you get them to me. Anything, because someone that we know that knows him as well just said the same thing. I was like, hey, listen, like normal day seeing Mike, he don't look like that.
Yeah, that was.
He's not that clean. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
right.
So like, I appreciate you sent a couple other pictures. I made sure to put them in there as well. Did some of those pictures come from your wedding day? The one that he was holding the bouquet?
That was a week prior to my wedding. So we haven't gotten any pictures back from the photographer just yet. But we do have pictures of him that day. So, and I did ask her if she could try and get those to me a little bit quicker.
Those would be the most recent
those
photos
would be the most
of him.
Recent
and
photos.
Obviously he's going to be dressed up and looking nice for that, I would imagine, but still.
Yeah, I mean, he had a button up and he had his do-rag on.
That's
believe
just
it or
who
not.
he is?
Yeah, that's who he is. He wears that every day. And he had his teeth in, but he doesn't have his teeth. That's why I didn't really want to put the picture out there with his teeth in, because he doesn't have his teeth with him. So he's not going to have teeth in when you see him.
Right. Okay.
Well, it's important detail to note for sure, just because again, you know, like you want to make sure that you're making a viable identification and not sending somebody on a wild goose chase. And as always, if you have any information, obviously Brookville Police, call them first. If there's anybody obviously that wants to volunteer any kind of resources, I'm gonna, as soon as we wrap this up, contact like I said, whether it's local libraries, courthouses, and see if maybe they'd be interested in even donating some paper, printed flyers, things like that. I know it's raining out, I don't know, but at least if you could leave here maybe with a stack, or at least if I could get you a stack, or even if it's not while you're still up here, we'll put foot on the ground and we'll, you know, get some people to help us put out some flyers.
Yeah,
I know
wouldn't mind doing that.
Yeah.
Well, and I know that I could grab 2-3 people. Each of us could grab 2-3 people and cover an area.
Because I'm
again,
sure Elk County isn't really in the thought of anyone's head.
But
you know?
again, looking at the trajectory of, you know, where he started, he was in Brookville, and now the last most recent sighting is DuBois. So I mean, there's a potential that maybe if he thinks that somebody's seen him in DuBois, he might come here.
Right.
So again, you know, we have to do what we can and try to get ahead of it. You know, so you know, we have to just do what we can. So share this, please, on all the platforms that it's going to be available on. And again, thank you for being here.
Yeah, this is the most updated.
If you have any message to your dad, if God forbid he sees this, anything you want to say to your dad while you're here?
Just let me know you're okay. That's all I want. I want to just know that you're, you know, breathing at least. Yeah. And if you need some space, just tell me that. And you've got it. But, you know, I just want to hear his voice. That's all I've been hoping for.
Right.
It's a call. That's it.
Well, thank you again for being here. Obviously, if any of this generates anything, we'll be in contact with you from here on out.
Yep.
But thank you so much. Oh, that's why I couldn't do this alone. I was, you know, I'm not prepared to handle a lot of the emotional, you know, weight that this carries. But again, thank God that, you know, we have these tools at our disposal, because again, you know, the police can only do so much. They're only able to do so much. So again, with social media, this is at least the fastest way to connect with as many people as possible.
Yep.
So thank you and everybody involved. We'll wrap this up and we'll see what we can do for you.
Yeah, thank you for watching, and thank you for wanting to talk to us.
Thank you for having me on here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Hopefully we can have you maybe come back under better circumstances when he's back.
Yes.
When he comes back safe and sound, you're both coming back.
Yeah, we're pulling him on here, you know.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mya.
Thank you, Mya.
Yep, thank you.